Blessed with the mighty Atlantic Ocean, fertile agricultural lands, and a strategic geographic location that gives an opportunity for a lot of people to explore and get into the business. Gunjur and the Gambia at large has experienced numerous shutdowns when it comes to economy, and especially this COVID time. Please join us as we embark on a journey where we explore different areas of our business sector, from agriculture, fisheries, and small business enterprises. Gunjur Business is in short called Gunjur Biz. This will be a platform that we will use to explore different business opportunities, especially for young people. We'll bring you on Gunjur Online all the business topics that is related to financing, operations, marketing. And we will use this platform to invite experts from different sectors of the Gambian economy and give tips and have a broader analysis of the general business sector. This will give us an opportunity to be able to discuss in a broader detail how businesses are affected when it comes to our environment, our natural resources being exploited by other people, but also how we can tap into the opportunities and also access capital, which is very crucial for the success of the businesses. But not only that, we won't stop at accessing capital. You know what else we're going to do? It's about the little operational processes that are needed in our business culture to build up cultures that's going to be successful. And that's going to be, most importantly, what? It's going to be sustainable for the success of the business. So we can transfer wealth. We can also transfer skills from one person to another to be able to live in a community that is thriving, a community that businesses, private sector, individual businesses nurture entrepreneurship and reward them. So please join me every week on Gunjur Online as we delve into all these areas of discussions when it comes to business success. This is your host, Ahmed of Gunjur Online. Thank you for joining us, and I'll see you.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala barakatuh. It's me, Ahmed Manjang, on Gunjur News Online. Welcome to Gunjur News Online for another edition of daily COVID-19 updates. Unfortunately, yesterday I couldn't come because of our busy schedule. I apologize. Today I'll be discussing about Bill Gates, a villain or a hero, or a villain. But why talking about Bill Gates? You know, this is a multi-billionaire, and this is about COVID-19. Yeah, there are a lot of controversies or conspiracy theories surrounding this man. And as a medical practitioner on African descent, this guy is Africa best ally. So people are spewing misinformation that could be detrimental to Africans. For example, this could affect the vaccine uptake. And we know Africa right now, our best chance is vaccination. You know, it's from improving our child mortality. And also, I think, you know, only vaccination can get the world out of this current pandemic, and this is going to affect how we travel, you know, in the world. So if Africans should be fed with so much misinformation to such an extent that they are scared to take a vaccination, I think as a medical practitioner, I need to come and debunk some of those conspiracies. But first, I will give you the update, the current figures about COVID-19. COVID-19, as you are all aware, started in China in December 2019. And so far, 7,538,185 are infected. And out of that, 421,332 dead. That is about 8 to 10% mortality rate. That means if you have COVID-19, your chances of dying is about 8%, and you have a 92% survival rate. You know, some people may say, and so what? Well, for a virus infection, that is extreme. That is very, very high. Is not the most worst, but is one of the most lethal viruses the world encountered. And the numbers are showing no sign of slowing down. In fact, they are increasing on daily basis. So far, 213 countries are affected with COVID-19, and 2 conveyances. By that I mean cruise ships or military warships. Currently, number of people who had COVID-19 and recovered stands at 3,822,162. And currently, the number of people with active COVID-19 infections stands at 3,294,691. And out of that, 3,240,780 are in mild condition. That is a number of people with active conditions, and out of that, 98% are in mild conditions. And when I say mild conditions, these are the people who are infected with COVID-19, but some of them, in fact, are showing no signs, no symptoms. That means they don't even know they have COVID-19 infections. But a large number of them will come down with sore throat, headache, and persistent cough. These are very consistent, these 3. But on rare occasions, COVID-19 patients will lose their sense of smell and also their sense of taste. Currently, 53,911 people are seriously or critically ill with COVID-19 infection. Sorry about that. When I say critical or seriously ill, these are the group of COVID-19 patients that need hospitalization, and a large number of them don't only need hospitalization, but they need to be in intensive care facilities. Because COVID-19, what it does is affect our respiratory tract, from the upper respiratory tract to the lower respiratory tract. And as we go down, the receptors, that's the virus used to enter into our systems, also increases. And that's how, you know, the magnitude of the damage also the virus can cause. For example, in our lungs, these receptors are very, very prevalent in our lungs, and once the COVID-19 virus gets into your lungs, it starts the damage. And once your lungs damage, that means your capacity to get healthy level of oxygen, that is about 75% concentration of oxygen in your system, also depleted. So at the intensive care unit, COVID-19 patients are fitted with ventilators. That's why recently all the conversation is about ventilators, how many we have or what. Recently, Gambia has been donated with some, from, I think it's Turkey. But at the beginning of COVID-19 pandemic, I don't think Gambia have a working ventilators. These are very, very expensive machines. They can be as expensive as a brand new Range Rover. And typical African, they rather buy Range Rover than a ventilator that will benefit a cross-section of the community. So right now, 53,911 people are in seriously or critical conditions. And the total number of people who got infected past 24 hours alone stand at 91,034. And number of that stands at 3,197. So countries, how are the countries that are very close to the Gambia faring as far as COVID-19 infections are concerned? These, as they said, as long as the causes persist, the consequences are inevitable. So Gambia, even though our numbers are very, very low, 28 so far we recorded, and I think we have only 5 active cases. These cannot be attributed only to the efforts of the Gambia. We have to give credit to Senegal, who have been very, very robust in their control measures. Senegal currently recorded 4,759 COVID-19 cases so far, and past 24 hours alone, they recorded 119. So these numbers are not going down anytime soon in Senegal, even though they are opening up. I think that's the right thing, because this virus, we have to find a way of living alongside this virus, as we did in previous pandemic like the HIV/AIDS. And the vaccination cannot come quick enough, and the earliest prediction we might get this vaccination as early as September. That is in 2 months' time, but it can come quick enough. Guinea-Bissau so far recorded 4,258 cases, and past 24 hours they recorded 42 new cases. And Ivory Coast recorded 4,181 so far, and past 48 hours they recorded 300 new cases. So the numbers are definitely going up in West Africa, in our part of the world, and that's why we have to be on our guards. But even though I'm not trying to justify the so-called state of emergency extension declared by our president, I don't think Gambia need that right now. Our numbers are very much under control. And also, if the president declares state of emergency, but at the same time, he is engaging in activities that are drawing people around him. So that is very, very controversial. And I think he should show some respect to these pandemics, because we don't just have the facilities. Once we have numbers, even Senegalese numbers, what is happening in Senegal, we cannot sustain it. Our healthcare facility is so fragile, we can't sustain any major medical shock. And Mali so far recorded 1,722 and 55 new cases past 24 hours. The number of new cases for Bissau is not yet in, but they recorded 1,389 so far, and Burkina Faso recorded 891. Sierra Leone, which is also very close to the Gambia, so far recorded 1,062 new cases, and past 24 hours they recorded 37. And Gambia, so far we have 28 and 5 active cases, 1 dead, and the rest are recovered. So that brings me to the main topic of the day, that is Bill Gates. Is it a villain or a hero? As far as Africa is concerned, I can tell you without a shadow of doubt, Bill Gates is a hero, and most of these conspiracies surrounding him and his foundations are completely unfounded. what the world should know, we have a movement called anti-vaccination movement, which because of their cultist religious belief, they don't believe in vaccination at all. But right now, Africa can't do without vaccination. In fact, I think I can say the rest of the world. Why I mention Africa specifically? Because we are still, dodged by widespread infectious diseases all the time, even before this pandemic. And the quickest and surest way to get rid of that is through vaccinations. It is through vaccination that early childhood mortality in Africa numbers improve. And Bill Gates is not only involved in sponsoring vaccination or research endeavors, and some of the research actually he sponsored or he invested in a little bit controversial. And the way our development is and our understanding of medical science is, some of them might look a little bit scary, but this man is very, very intelligent, he's very smart, and he is not, world richest man for that long. You can't be world richest man for that long if you are not smart. And he's always thinking ahead. He made some predictions, about pandemic, not COVID-19, but pandemic, what could have happened. He's been warning the U.S. government that, these are the areas actually you should pay attention to, because when there is a major pandemic that will kill more people than nuclear bomb, who is going to put a nuclear bomb on another country right now? One of the intervention area for Bill Gates is about accessible toilet facility where water is not very, very much abundant. And this technology will help those countries to recycle even their toilets water. It will be recycled to such an extent that it will be fit for drinking. So you can see with very, very little water, there will be toilet facilities, and there will be enough for people to drink and clean themselves. He put 400 million into that research. So I should mention that have nothing to do with vaccination. In fact, why he went into that, because he said if the whole world have standard toilet facilities with good water cleaning facilities, there might be no need for vaccination, because we have vaccination to get to control or to treat infections. But if you cut the root of infection, that means there is less people with infection, and that means less people that need vaccination. So we should mention that. So misinformation about the Microsoft founder, who is Bill Gates, a philanthropist, is swirling around the world online as part of the efforts to push anti-vaccination agenda. As I said, there is a very, very powerful movement who against vaccination in all its forms in Africa. We just can't afford that. So there is this Pastor Adam Fanning. He is one guy who is one of the conspiracy theories against Bill Gates. In fact, in one of his rants, he mentioned that, the Bible said there will be an antichrist, a man that proclaimed to be God, who will try to unite the world in a one world government with one world financial system and establish a one world religion, says Pastor Adam Fanning. This is a controversial Florida preacher who has latched onto anti-vaccination movement in a recent YouTube video. But who is the man? He said he asked this question. I'm talking about this Pastor Adam Fanning, who is based in Florida. He asked his audience, who is this Antichrist? What Muslims call Dajjal. And Fanning actually is referring to Bill Gates, who has become the largest targets of conspiracy theories and anti-vaccination fringe groups. So Gates actually and conspiracy theory are always mixed. I don't know out of jealousy or what, but if you control that amount of money and very influential high-tech companies, you're going to develop enemies. So, but Gates, who has long predicted the users will be unprepared for this devastating pandemic, has been extremely active since the corona emerged. And yes, Bill Gates, since 2015, he was been, on the neck of the U.S. government that, Your government is very, very unprepared, underprepared in case of a major pandemic. And this is confirmed by Obama administration. They used to have drills on an annual basis in case of pandemic, what they need to do, how to source this medical equipment quickly, but when this idiot came, Trump, he abandoned those areas. All what he's busy with is to cut funding for WHO, stop Muslim from traveling to the US, and building a fence around America and all that, But Bill Gates has been, he never stopped. He keep reminding them, what, there is always a potential in this world for a major pandemic like which we are experiencing now. And if you go and play that video now, it looks like, wow, this guy is talking about COVID-19, so he might know something about it, but nothing is far from the truth. This guy is investing a lot of his money, to make the world aware of this kind of pandemic we are experiencing now. And it's not only that, he's putting a lot of money into it. In fact, he's already donated like 250 million towards the current crisis. And this expands the importance of developing a safe and effective vaccine, and supported the creation of a government-funded manufacturing infrastructure. But purveyors of disinformation are telling different stories, using several desperate false narratives about Gates. All of the conspiracy theories seem to sow doubt about an eventual vaccine. That is not surprising, given how active anti-vaccine groups have been lately in spreading misinformation about failed corona cures. These anti-vaccine groups, and also the far right, the extreme right I'm talking about, these are the typical Donald Trump supporters. These people don't care if you and I live. They don't care if Africa exists or not. So vaccine is the last thing on their mind. And you can understand that had it not been this pandemic, hardly nobody is talking about vaccination in the modern world now. And what, in fact, that proved certain kind of conspiracies that killed them anyway, because at the beginning, when the vaccine conspiracy started, they said they're going to test it on Africans and all. I did a presentation here saying, you know what, you cannot test. It's not medically sensible, and it's economically stupid to go and try a vaccine in a place where that particular illness, which this vaccine is developed for, where it is not endemic. It doesn't make sense. So we've all seen that, again, these vaccinations have been tried in England, America, France, I can say European countries. And I think 5 in China, 2 in America, 1 in England, and 1 in Germany, Austria, and Denmark is one vaccination that has been tried here. So nobody's thinking about Africa, because this race agent time. The Europeans want to get their economies running. They want to get their population back to work. So they need a quick cut. They don't even have time to transport these vaccinations. And these vaccination also, to go and trial, they'll need high state-of-art medical equipment, and most African states didn't have the capacity to own those. So that's part of conspiracy now, is that, but still, the conspiracy theories are still active, trying to malign a man who is determined to help the world. And Fanning again, Fanning, thank you, Alassane Jukes. Fanning, this is this U.S. pastor I'm talking about, who is based in Florida. He's run about this video. It has garnered 1.8 million views, and he lambasted Gates for supporting vaccination and suggest that he's working on implantable devices. Mod Same Kajani, I'm online. Yeah, it's working an implantable device. I think you all heard this now, with a digital certificate and quantum dot tattoos, that will identify people with COVID-19 and send their information to the United Nations. And this pastor goes on to call Gates the Antichrist, like the Dajjal. And in Fanning's other videos, he makes false claims about vaccines, including that they are filled with filthy chemicals and aborted fetus. That is a complete lie. You don't do that. You don't put that in vaccinations. And Fannin, the same pastor, also claimed that Gates want to use vaccination to depopulate the world, a myth that has been around for at least 10 years, as Snopes explains. Yes, James mentioned something about slowing down the growth of the whole population, and I will explain why he said that. I think some people, I think you probably will see the sense in it. Gates has said he sees slowing down world population growth as a key component of helping to lift people out of poverty. That is a fact. What's the point? You have 10 kids and you cannot even educate one of them. That's can only exacerbate poverty. This is what the guy is talking about. You know, why, so one of the goals of his philanthropic efforts, in addition to supporting new healthcare initiatives and birth control accessibilities, Gates also touts mass vaccination as a way of lowering child mortality rates. This is why Africa now we have a respectable child mortality rates, thanks to early childhood vaccination we have access to. And these are not being paid by our government. These are being paid by WHO and philanthropists like Bill Gates. So that's why Africans have to be very, very careful about speaking information which they have very, very little information about. So Gates also touts mass vaccination as a way of lowering child mortality rates. And he believed that as child mortality rates lower and stabilize, parents will choose to have fewer kids because they are less worried about their children will die. One of the why some African or developing countries believe in having a bigger families is because of the high death rates among children in our part of the world. So they rather go for many children as a safety net, so that if one die or two die, you still have some. But what Bill Gates is arguing, you know what? If we invest on vaccination and other things and improve the healthcare system, that means less kids will die. And as kids survival rate increase, he believes this will encourage developing nation to reduce the number of child they bring to this world that they cannot take care of. I mentioned about the quantum dot tattoos. Most people who have read this in Facebook posts and also in YouTube, which was again been spread by this controversial pastor Fannin. These quantum dot tattoos, yes, again, Bill Gates mentioned about this. And in fact, this is one of the research he's putting a lot of money into. But I'm going to explain what these quantum dot tattoos meant to be. The quantum dot tattoos that Fannin reference are related to research funded by Bill Gates. In December, researchers at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology revealed the development of an invisible ink that could be stamped on kids' skin at the time of vaccination as a record of their inoculations. This stamp can last 5 years, but it is just a stamp. It cannot be used to track persons' whereabouts as a fact checks. .org. You can take this in factcheck.org. The other problem of vaccination, if you vaccine somebody, you need to have a track record of that vaccination, so that the vaccination is not repeated, or so that when the next one, what they call the booster vaccination, when it is due, it can be given at the right time. In Africa, these are a problem. You can go to hospital, going back, there is a rain, and the vaccination card is all washed and it's all damaged. So, and we know most healthcare facilities in Africa don't have computers to put the digital record of this. So if that should happen, the hospital will not know actually the type of vaccination they give to these particular kids, and what time they give it, and when they need to give the booster vaccination to it. So that makes all the vaccination efforts redundant. So what Bill Gates is investing on, this will be a stamp. It will be an ink. They will put it at the side of where they put the vaccinations. It will not be visible to the naked eye, but there will be lines. When they put it, they will know that, okay, this particular child was vaccinated in this particular days with this kind of vaccination, and the next booster one is due for these particular days. So that's what this digital tattoo nonsense all come about. Okay. And for the digital certificates also, an implantable device, Gates has no plan to develop any technology that will diagnose and track people with COVID-19. This is something also a conspiracy that was attributed to Gates. But now we have seen government developing this. UK is trialing this kind of technology in Isle of Wight, where they will use Bluetooth technology to track COVID-19 patients and also the people they come in contact with. So that was a that was a conspiracy that was attributed to Bill Gates. Bill Gates have nothing to do with it, but other companies, other countries have seen the potential of that technology and they develop it. It's now being used in South Korea, it's been used in China, it's been used in England, and I think this is going to be the norm in the near future. So this conspiracy theory seems to stem from a Reddit armor, where Gates noted that at some point we will have digital certificate that will be able to track who has been sick, who have been tested, and who should receive a vaccine. So this man is well ahead of the rest of us. He's thinking ahead. What the UK is trialing now, Bill Gates mentioned that these are possibilities. That, these are going to be the future of medicine. He mentioned them years back. People misinterpret it. They explain it in such a way that they look really scary, that the man is up to something that want to destroy the world. Nothing is far from the truth. But Gates' words were twisted to make it look as though he had planned to commercialize an invasive form of mass population tracking. Bluetooth is not invasive, but now countries are tracking their people to make sure that those who have COVID-19, the people they come in contact with, they can be easily tracked and also give the necessary treatment they need. And we all know a pandemic like COVID-19, contact tracing is one of the most effective way of controlling or cutting the cycle of infections. So coming back to population tracking, even for the purpose of disease control, is a somewhat controversial topic and what many people are paying attention to. Like doctors already track individuals' human health through electronic health records, and Human Resources Department may start tracking people, employee health as people return to work. These are some of the things this guy was thinking long before COVID-19, and now we've seen this is what people are doing, because UK announced in March, was it in March or in April? I think it was in April, that they now have the immunological test that was developed by Pfizer, that they can know if you are immune, if you once infected with COVID-19 and if you are immune to it. Immune is a medical term, but the layman term, if you are resistant to COVID-19. That means if you are infected and recovered, your body should have a specially programmed protein inside your system that are there lying in wait. If you have this virus again, they will attack them instantly and eliminate them. So that test will tell your employers that particular guy is actually immune. And this might be the way forward for the rest of the world, because we've seen now UK, if you fly into UK, they will put you into 2 weeks quarantine. This quarantine, I think they're going to tag you. You're going to go to your address, but they will be monitoring you electronically that you cannot go in public spaces for 2 weeks. And if you do, they might deport you. But that might not be necessary if the whole world now have this technology of testing people that if they are immune to COVID-19 or not. And in the event of that we have a vaccination, you will just take a vaccination, you travel with that vaccination certificate, so that if you go to a new country, all you have to present is your vaccination certificate or your certificate that you are immune to COVID-19, and they will let you in. So but a poll from New Research showed that 60% of Americans are skeptical that using cell phone data to track people who have come in contact with someone who is COVID-19 positive will do much to slow the spread of the virus. Well, if you follow US and European countries, especially England, I think Americans are very, very conservative. This is technology already. I'm talking about tracking people electronically. UK is trialing it already and it's working in Isle of Wight, and it might be available to all devolved nations in the UK very soon. But Americans, according to this poll, 60% are still kept skeptical about that. But the South Koreans and the Chinese have been using it it in fact already for much longer. And other European countries are also developing. In fact, what they are talking about, because they work on different applications differently, so they want to have a unified system, across Europe, which if you go from Germany to England, there will be no problem. So people also disagree about whether this kind of digital contact tracing should be done at all. That is US I'm talking about. But if you go to the Democrats, these are the sensible people in America who are moderate. 61% of Democrats felt that it was acceptable to track this movement this way, while only 45% of Republicans, that's the Donald Trump and his branded kind of people, they still skeptical about this digital tracking that that UK and other European nations are trialing already, but it's already been used in China and South Korea. So there are still more conspiracies surrounding Gates, including one that suggests he started the coronavirus or that he knew it was coming. Yes, this is a report on New York Times that revealed a cache of 16,000 posts on Facebook about Bill Gates with 900,000 likes and comments. Bill Gates conspiracies on YouTube also saw similarly high engagements, and Gates have long been the subjects of conspiracy theories like this one from 1996, which says that Microsoft is an invention of the Illuminati. And this one that suggests Gates is inventing in an antivirus as a means of colonizing Africa. Could you believe that? And conservative conspiracy theories like Alex Jones have been suggesting that Gates is using vaccines to sterilize and depopulate the world for at least a decade. We hear this many times. But why would somebody have an interest of depopulating Africa? It's just doesn't make any sense. But what is striking is the way such conspiracy theories, especially those with an anti-vaccine agenda, are allowed to proliferate on the web. And Google, like Google, YouTube parent company, and Facebook have been making an effort to pull down content that would lead to someone getting hurt, someone getting affected. But again, the conspiracy theories will take that and said, you know what, read this before they take it down. Read this before they take it down. Before Facebook take it this one down. Before YouTube take it down. This is another technique, to add some weight into their conspiracy theories. But most of them, they will hurt people. For example, all these anti-vaccination nonsense being spewed in Africa, is only going to hurt Africans, because if it reduces the vaccine uptake in our communities, that's a disaster for us. But videos like Adam Fanning's fell into a category of information that isn't considered detrimental, to human health. So this is a gray area for also the YouTube. I can say the social media platform, which one they consider as it will hurt the population or the regions. For example, when Donald Trump said, well, it might be we should start injecting people with household detergents, that is dangerous. And it's 3 days ago, there are a lot of reports, actually, people who sprinkle this bleach on their food, and some who gargle bleach. It caused serious damage since that nonsense, stupid statement by Donald Trump. And we have clear policies, and we well, that is YouTube or social media platforms, and that if to remove videos violating these policies when flagged to us. For a borderline content, such as the video sent over by a fast company, we reduce recommendations. So YouTube were not coming from recommendation being made on the platform, meaning that YouTube is not sending people to find in video. Instead, other websites are directing viewers to it. So that's what they say. Okay, they take it from YouTube, put it in on WhatsApp, and they will say, you better watch this before they delete it, or they put it in Messenger. Please watch this and spread it before they delete it. So other social media platforms are also acting to this effect. Like, if, for example, if you have certain videos now, you can only share it to one person at a time. So before you can send videos to as many as possible at the same time. They reduce it to 5. Now it's only 1. So that will make it will slow actual spreading of dangerous videos down. So guys, that's my conversation for today. Thank you all for your custom. Gunjur News Online is grateful. Okay, so if you have a question, what R rate is? R ratio is the number of people one person can infect. For example, if I have COVID-19 now, I don't know I have COVID-19. I go into the tube, I go into the bus, I go to the football match. So the number of people I will infect, that's the R ratio. So R ratio, it varies if you come to individual level. But what Norwegians do, they will count it. 1 is the cutoff. Below 1 is acceptable, but anything outside 1, that means if it is below 1, that means the number of people you can infect or you can transmit this COVID-19 to is less than 1. It's less than 1. That's it. But anything above 1, that means if you can infect more than 1 person, 1 or more than 1 person, that's not acceptable, because once there is a possibility that you can transmit it to 1 person, that person also will have R ratio of 1, and that how it goes exponentially. So that's why the cutoff is if it is less than 1, that means your chances of infection, in fact, is less than 1. What is less than 1? That's almost nothing. That is controllable. That can be taken care of. Herd immunity. Why? What I call herd immunity. If a pandemic like this come into the community, people will get it. Some people will die, some people will recover. But those who recovered will develop immunity against it. So these people will control. They will be like a barrier. Once they have this virus, that will be like a dead end for the virus. So they will prevent this virus from transferring to the next person. That's what they call herd immunity. It's like when you have herd of cattle, like a corray, and the hyena come, that's why they have these seleturas at the corners. They will attack it. That means they will give that those in the center of the corray that protection. That's what the term come from in terms of vaccination. So R ratio is the ratio of people one can affect, the number of people one particular person can infect or can transmit the infection to. Less than 1, that means you have less than 1 chances of transmitting. That is not like a half human being, no. So, but 1 and above, that's not acceptable. That means you have a chances of transmitting it to 1 person or 2 person or 3 person. And those also, if they get it, they have the same chances of transmitting. So for this COVID-19, at some point it was 2, 3. The actual R ratio for COVID-19 is 2 or 3, something between 2 and 3. So I hope that explains it. And I will see you inshallah tomorrow again. And on Monday we have Dr. Dr. Lamin Gedavo. He will explain about the Islam laws, and also we had our discussion about Combo. Combo is faced with lot of challenges. Land is one of them. Our environment is under serious strain. Our forest cover is under serious strain, and you can count it. And politically, we are almost insignificant, and these issues need to be addressed now, or we will never have an opportunity to address them. So we have a platform, a panel discussion here, which is going to be led by Dr. Lamin Jedabo, Dr. Lamin Conte of Faraba, a lecturer in USA, will be here, and Dave Mane also will be part of the platform, and Banka Mane, then Dr. Esa Toure. Thank you all. I really appreciate your time, and please share the video. Allah Barak.
Blessed with the mighty Atlantic Ocean, fertile agricultural lands, and a strategic geographic location that gives an opportunity for a lot of people to explore and get into the business. Gunjur and the Gambia at large has experienced numerous shutdowns when it comes to economy, and especially this COVID time. Please join us as we embark on a journey where we explore different areas of our business sector, from agriculture, fisheries, and small business enterprises. Gunjur Business is in short called Gunjur Biz. This will be a platform that we will use to explore different business opportunities, especially for young people. We'll bring you on Gunjur Online all the business topics that is related to financing, operations, marketing. And we will use this platform to invite experts from different sectors of the Gambian economy and give tips and have a broader analysis of the general business sector. This will give us an opportunity to be able to discuss in a broader detail how businesses are affected when it comes to our environment, our natural resources being exploited by other people, but also how we can tap into the opportunities and also access capital, which is very crucial for the success of the businesses. But not only that, we won't stop at accessing capital. You know what else we're going to do? It's about the little operational processes that are needed in our business culture to build up cultures that's going to be successful. And that's going to be, most importantly, what? It's going to be sustainable for the success of the business. So we can transfer wealth. We can also transfer skills from one person to another to be able to live in a community that is thriving, a community that businesses, private sector, individual businesses nurture entrepreneurship and reward them. So please join me every week on Gunjur Online as we delve into all these areas of discussions when it comes to business success. This is your host, Abubakar of Gunjur Online. Thank you for joining us, and I'll see you.
Gunjur Fitness Center Body Max. Gunjur Fitness Center Body Max. Gunjur Fitness Center Body Max.
I'm sitting in, I'm wondering, when will you return to my life, making me whole again, 'cause I'm half the man I used to be when you loved me.
Gunjur Fitness Center Body Max.
And many a times, many come and falter along the way. Many of people would love to have what we had, but since you've been gone, things are not the same in my nights anymore.
Gunjur Fitness Center Body Max.
Planning to have an uninterrupted electricity and water supply from solar energy in the Gambia and beyond? Worry no more, because Solar Enterprise will provide you with the solutions at reasonable cost. We have experienced personnel who can install and advise you about your electricity and water supply with a warranty period. We have good quality solar products from North America and Europe. We provide services and sell products to individuals, organizations, institutions, private offices, communities, and government. These products are solar panels, batteries, charge controllers, inverters, water pump, water heaters, freezers, submersible pumps, and general solar accessories. Visit our stores at 48 Karaba Avenue and Brusubi Highway, or you can call us on 7657 479 980-8483, 340-9400 or 635-9906.